This is Moyes with Boxing Buzz Hub, and I'm here with Marnie. Marnie, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Last time I saw you was on my screen when you won the Apprentice in 2023.
It
What's
was
life?
that long, that long ago is when you saw me last.
Yeah, what has life been like since winning it?
Amazing. There has been such a variety of things happen, good, bad, and ugly. Everything from the gym flooding to hosting big public workouts for the likes of Vasily Zhang, Joe Joyce fight, Chris Eubank's been in the gym, Michaela Meyer, Ben Whitaker. All the big names in pro boxing have been here. So, yeah, a lot has happened.
Well, you said so that from what would you say has been the best part of since having the investment with Bronx?
Well, the investment got spent in opening a second floor. So we went from just a boxing gym to now we've got sauna, weights gym, cafe, and seeing that expansion and that growth has definitely been the best part. Putting the money to actual use has been good.
Do you have any plans to expand?
Yeah, of course. Eventually, we'd love to move from just one site to two sites, two to three, three to four. The goal is always to get bigger and grow and evolve. But before I do that, I want to lock this place down and really know the blueprint of it and then start thinking about expansion. Don't run before you can walk.
And then what would you say is the worst part or like the least best part about since the investment with Bronx?
Mm, Dealing with emotions, dealing with people's feelings and emotions is always hard. You don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you also have to get the job done. So certain times dealing with members, putting boundaries in place, things like that, is hard because by its nature, boxing gyms are such warm, like fun, lot of banter environment. So sometimes having to claw that back and say, guys, we've got a job to do can be hard.
Um, how hands-on is Lord Sugar as a business partner on a day-to-day basis?
Very hands-on in terms of our finances. Him and his team are always in the know of what's happening, where money's going, how we're spending it. But in terms of the boxing, that's very much my department. So he doesn't get himself too involved in the sessions that we run or how we run them. He trusts me to do that, and so I get on with that.
What's it like to have him as a business partner?
Mind blowing. Like sometimes I think to myself, how did I end up with a billionaire as a business partner? And have to pinch myself sometimes still because it's just incredible. The man is the biggest walking achievement I can think of. To have gone from where he started to where he is now in one lifetime is things that dreams are made of. So yeah, he's been great.
What would you say has been the biggest unexpected change since winning?
The biggest unexpected change. Hmm, it's a hard one. I've never been asked that one before. I think you expect that you come out the show and everything just falls in line. And I think people just assume with the success of winning comes a ready-made business that just works and flows, but it doesn't. It still requires a lot of groundwork, a lot of effort, a lot of mistakes, a lot of failings, a lot of ups and downs. So being this was my first business. I don't come from a business background, no business experience. So learning on the job and learning on the job in the public eye with a billionaire next to me, a lot more goes into that than I think people would assume.
What part of running a business do you enjoy the most?
Leading, having the responsibility of leading. I always say heavy is the head that wears the crown, but also that pressure is a privilege. And knowing that everyone looks up to you for the answer, as hard as that is at times, especially when you don't have the answer, it's also very rewarding to know that people trust in your leadership and are willing to follow your direction.
Mm. Moving more into Bronx, what has Bronx achieved since the investment? I know you said so. You've had names like Chris Eubank and Ben Whitaker training here. How did that come about?
So the gym itself is quite unique. The look of the gym, the aesthetic of the gym, the size. I think we could confidently say we're the biggest boxing gym in London, which allows for a lot more opportunities for us to host things like events, public workouts. So as soon as people know of the gym, word spread fast, and I had inquiries and hires from Sky Sports, Matchroom, DAZN, BBC, Boxer, Queensbury, the Sauerland Bros, and that has just, as soon as one's hired it and they've seen the footage from it, another one does. We've even worked with Under Armour, Gymshark, all the big brands, and I think they know the space is something different and special.
What would you say is your biggest milestone so far with Bronx?
Personal milestone would be having Katie Taylor come down here. That was massive for me because she's the reason I started boxing. Her and Natasha Jonas's fight in the Olympics just set my soul on fire for boxing, and I loved it ever since. So having her in the gym, in the space, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. That's been a big personal milestone. But just keeping the gym alive and breathing for going on for nearly 3 years now is a big achievement in itself. I'm proud of how far we've come, but we still have a lot more left to do.
Could we see Bronx hosting their own event?
Well, we do. We run our own fight clubs. We've got one on April the 18th. So we transform this space and we host events where people will sell their tickets, they'll come, they'll watch their friends fight, and we turn upstairs into like a chill bar area. It goes from a boxing club to like almost like a fight club. So
What's your plans with Bronx for 2026?
more events, actually, more events. Not necessarily here, but being more expansive, doing more fight club nights. My background before having the gym was in promoting. So I ran a business back in like pre 2018, and I was selling tickets, hosting shows, promoting fights. But then when COVID hit, that really changed the landscape of events. So that's when I decided I wanted a gym, I wanted bricks and mortar, and we are here now. But my plan is to move more in towards that event space and push myself forward more as a promoter.
What made you want to open a boxing gym?
I used to box. So I boxed in around 2012, like I said, when the Olympics just started and women's boxing were just allowed in the Olympics for the first time. But there was hardly any women on the scene. Boxing back then wasn't what it is now, where you've got the likes of Clarissa Shields and Sky Nicholson and all these other big names. That didn't exist then. So I'd been training for 6-7 months, no fight, and I grew really disheartened. So I moved away from it, moved into coaching and into this business sphere of boxing. But yeah, I loved it. There is part of me that still misses it. I feel like there's some unfinished business there.
Going on to that, would you ever want to have a boxing match?
Yes. Part of me still, when I see the guys going for it, I think I could get in there and do that. Yeah, I miss it. But now, the position I'm at now, it would only be for the right opportunity and whether the money was right. I wouldn't be stepping back onto an amateur scene or a pro scene. It would have to be in that influence boxing space because, listen, I'm here to make the moolah now. I'm not here to just get hit when it's not worth it.
Is there anyone that you'd want to fight in the influencer scene?
Well, I have a background in amateur boxing, so I'm handy. I know what I'm doing in the ring. I know how to hold myself. Need to sort my fitness out, albeit, but I think I could stand my ground with most. I can't envision one influencer boxer that would give me problems. Demi Sim's name has been thrown in the mix a few times where people have said, if you ever did it, call out her because she's the one. Julia Coco, but I think she's too light for me. I'm too heavy. But yeah, I honestly don't think a single one would be an issue for me to handle. Fight and talk.
I know you said so that there's been quite a few big names in the boxing gym. Who would you say is the most famous person to train here?
Well, for the influencer boxing scene, King Kenny, he spent some time here whilst the gym that he was originally at was getting done up. So got to know him very well. Great guy. He brought Deji down a few times. Yeah, we've had some good names. More in the pro boxing world, like the list I've already mentioned. But in the influencer world, we've had them. We had Astrid Ware. We've had Alexia Grace host their promotion for fight between them two. Yeah.
Who would you say is your favorite boxer? I know you said Katie Taylor, but is there anyone else?
Fighting style, I like the aggression of the likes of Mike Tyson and those really forward, pushy, forceful fighters. They take up space, they put their opponents on the back foot. Personality-wise, I like anyone who's got a brand. I'm very business-minded, so anyone who's got a clear structure. Ben Whittaker is a great example. The way he's maneuvered his career, the way he has framed and positioned himself, I think he's done a great job. You know exactly who he is. You know what he stands for. You know the kind of brands he works with. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Going back onto the influencer boxing scene in around a month, or in around April time, you'll be hosting the Gunman boxing press conference. How did that come about?
So I've known Wesley, who runs Gunman Boxing, for a while, just on the boxing scene. He's been at some of the same events as me. I've done a few interviews with him, and like I said before, he reached out because as soon as one promoter is using this space, the others are like, "Hey, that's a good space. Let's get involved." So he reached out, sent an email, and we got talking from there. And now he's going to be hosting the media workout, the press conference for his upcoming show.
Do you think we could see Lord Sugar there?
Lord Sugar will not be attending. No, Lord Sugar is a very busy man with very important things to do. So it will just be me representing Bronx on this one.
Going back to the Astrid Ware and Alexa Grace face-off, which happened here, what was the atmosphere like?
Very cool up until when it happened and the actual press conference, the actual interaction came about. So the vibe was good. A lot of influencers were in here, a lot of media. Everyone was gearing up for what we expected to be just a respectful face-off and keep all the action for the fight. But if you've seen that video that's on our TikTok, that did not happen. There was before I knew it, there was a slap. She picked her up, threw her through the table. The table collapsed. The whole room was like, and the rest is history.
What was the aftermath like with the ambulance having to come in and help Astrid?
Well, there were already paramedics on site anyway, as there are like at any event when there's big crowds. So fortunately, we were able to get help quick, and there were no actual injuries. But yeah, crazy. Great promotion for the fight.
I know this gym's more with traditional boxing, but what's your thoughts on the influencer boxing scene and how fast it's growing?
There's a big debate on this one, and I think the real boxing world looks down on influencer boxing. And by my own admission, I used to be one of those people. I used to be a purist and think that this is kind of putting a bad spin on boxing. However, my mind on that has completely changed. Now that I've got into business, I can see the value and the appeal of what influencer boxers are doing. They're fighting for such big numbers just by way of their ability to market themselves and their commercial appeal. And if anything, I actually think pro boxing has got a lot to learn from the influencer boxing space and what they're achieving in making characters out of themselves that people just are dying to watch. The whole viewership of boxing has opened up. There's a lot more crossover, and I can see why. As I said, even myself as a boxer, if I was a boxer, I'd find it way more attractive to fight on an influencer show than I ever would on a pro show. The money's just not the same, and the entertainment isn't.
Moving on to the women's boxing scene, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's transformed so much from when I was boxing. It's on a massive upwards trend. I'm loving that more women boxers are starting to bring a little bit more drama. Like even Caroline Dubois recently in the fight with Terry Harper, she's bringing some energy, and I love that. I think that's exactly what it needs in order for women's boxing to start becoming as entertaining. Look, entertainment equals economy, and the more entertaining you are, the more money you're going to make. So to see Caroline stepping into that into that space, I love it. I'm here for it.
Yesterday, Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul's company, hosted a press conference with Sky Sports on women's boxing, and Dubois was there, as you said. What's your thoughts on that, and do you think that women's boxing is having their mainstream era now?
Jake Paul is a very smart man. To recognise the niche that women's boxing isn't getting recognised. Look, let's face it, let's call a spade a spade. Even on the big shows, women's boxing aren't hitting the same numbers that men's fights are, or they're always put in an undercard position, even if it's high up on the undercard. Very rarely are women taking that main event spot. So what Jake Paul's done with Most Valuable Promotions is made it a most valuable promotion by hitting a niche, and that's what people love. People love the niche. If you want women's boxing, you know that that's the place to go. He's paying the fighters really well, which is incentivizing them more. More brands are wanting to be associated with something that's empowering women so much. Very smart man, very smart concept. But I love that they're doing it. They're giving it the same amount of oomph that they would men's promotions. So the drama's coming through. The production value is there. The marketing, the content. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to level up women's boxing, and I think a lot of women female boxers will aspire to be on that platform, which creating that need again, it just creates more desire, more money.
Moving back onto Bronx, where would you see Bronx in 5 years?
I'd see us with multiple sites. I'd hope within 5 years we have a couple more. Definitely being more known in that event space. So I'd like to take this Fight Club concept and evolve it into something that stands within Bronx. So I'm not looking to use that to promote separate promotions. I'm looking to use it from the people that are from Bronx that want the opportunity to fight and grow from there. Just becoming a brand that's really recognizable in the gym space of boxing. So there's so many brands within boxing, like Box Raw. They have the monopoly on clothes and products. You've got boxing brands, Everlast, Lonsdale, well, not so much, that are taking the monopoly on kit. Matchroom, Boxer, taking the monopoly on promoting. So I'd like us to have that monopoly on gyms.
What would you want Bronx to be known for?
Changing lives, and I mean that in every aspect. So even on the lowest level of people just coming and finding a sense of community here, I can't tell you how much that means to me. This isn't supposed to just be a gym where people get fitter and stronger and better at boxing. It represents something deeper than that, and that's why the slogan is Beyond Boxing, because so many good things happen in boxing gyms that can't be put down in paper or maybe aren't reflected in accounts, but they're here and they're happening, and you have to be part of it to feel it. So I would love for the legacy to be that this had a dent on people's lives. It made an impact. It made change, even in the smallest margins. It did something for someone.
What would be some dream fights that you'd like to see in the traditional boxing scene and influencer boxing scene?
You know what? A lot of the ones that I wanted to see have happened. One of the best fights I saw, and we actually hosted the public workout for it here, was the Fraser Clark Fabio Wardley fight. That to me was the fight of the last few years. The atmosphere, everything was amazing. So yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Ring magazine and how quickly they've changed this sport in such a quick amount of time?
They have, even the Ring magazine that's been around for years and years and years and years and years, but the rise of it now, I think, is directly connected to the purchase of it by Turkey Al Sheikh, and that influx of money, that boost in investment, has definitely assisted in it becoming what it is today. It's transformed itself from that sort of old paper magazine dusty in the corner of boxing club somewhere into something that has so much mass appeal and its involvement in promotions. The Ring Awards, I don't remember them being, if they were, I don't remember them having any online presence before. But these are such iconic things that rightfully so should be brought back to life and invested in.
All right, well, I think we'll end it there. Thank you for your time, Marnie.
Thank you.